special guest in the house, my dear friend Debra Walker, who's running for District 6. I'm going to give a little testimony for what Debra has done for my community. And many years ago, now we can say many years ago, we were in this battle to get a compassionate resolution passed. And there were a few sticks in the mud. We're like, what do you mean compassion? What do you mean free medicine? And we needed people to build a bridge to the other folks that weren't following us. And Debra was one of those bridge builders. She went across and said to some other more conservative people, what are you doing? Compassion is what this is about. She helped us when we were in Michaela Aliotto Pierre's office, working on making sure that we weren't blocking safe access while we were raising up to ADA standards, because we didn't want to shut any of the collectives down. We wanted to make sure that patients had access to the collectives, and we wanted to make sure that everyone could get into their collective. So she helped construct that balance. Right now, she's on the Building Commission, and she does a lot of work with the Building Commission, which is not something I know much about other than the work that we did on ADA stuff. And many folks here are also members of the Harvey Milk Club, and she is the past president of the Harvey Milk Club. So I'm really glad that Debra's here to speak with us. And like I say, don't be shy with your questions. Come on up, Debra.
So, Shona, thank you very much. I know you all see Shona and work with her every day, but you probably don't know the impact that she's had on San Francisco's political policies and the whole sort of environment of politics in San Francisco. The advances that we've made on legalizing cannabis, look at where we are today. It's the work of Shona and people that she's worked with, and you all. Because the fact is that all of these people that are in City Hall now who are supervisors, remember that you all made the phone calls for them. And, you know, this is how we make change in San Francisco and in the world. We bring people together. And so, Shona, thank you for what you do to bring our community together to fight these battles. I'm a painter. I don't know if you know that about me. I'm an artist. And I moved here in 1981 to San Francisco to paint. I had visited here like many in the 70s, and I fell in love. And I knew at that moment that this is where I needed to do my work. I worked for many years doing more commercial art and working in the business world until I came to that point that a lot of us reached where I had to listen to my calling and commit myself to my art. And I moved here to do that in 1981, and I have been a career artist ever since there, because at that point, San Francisco had made it a priority to support culture, to support diversity, and to make San Francisco an affordable place for people to live. So I came here, I was able to find a place to do my work. I work really big on big paintings. I moved into the place I'm in today in 1985. I've been in the same place, doing my work, living and working. And it's the oldest legal artist cooperative in San Francisco. The oldest legal artist that is still in existence. That was a time when people could find affordable space to be able to do the work they need to do. The city was more responsive to the need for culture and the spirit that San Francisco offers than it was to the developers. Things changed. I don't want to fast forward because it was all way too painful for all of us. Many of you have been around the dot-com boom. Before that, there was the first biotech boom. And then before that, there was some other boom and bust scenario. That is San Francisco's unfortunate response to economic problems and crisis, is create another boom and bust And the people who are hurt are us. The people who are hurt in this kind of real estate escalation and making sort of an industry out of it are the people who have the least options. So as the value of real estate goes up, the number of people who are living out in the street is higher. Now, it's not rocket science, folks. I know what the problem is. Homelessness is about no homes.
Right.
So as I have focused and I'll tell you, I didn't start out to run for office or be a politician or a commissioner or anything, being interested in land use. I started out because I love the city, and I do urban landscapes, and I am out in the city, and I am like, an artist is like a sponge. You are out there and your job is to take it all in and then go back into your studio and put it all out. And I started noticing things like, the things that they were calling lofts.
Yeah.
We're not for artists, right? No. You don't sell something at $500,000 and expect a practicing artist to live there.
No.
The hardwood floors that nobody would want to get any paint on. And so I started looking and getting involved in land use policy. And the reality, folks, is that is what creates our world.
Right.
The people who put in the railroads did it because they owned the land where it was going. And so, even simple things like when we come together and say we need more transit, we need more the result is more density and more pressure to develop. Maybe a good thing, maybe a bad thing. But we tend to do it in the city based on increasing land values to actually fund our government. I mean, that's the problem with San Francisco in this boom and bust. Everything we do ends up supporting the escalation of real estate. And we don't really do anything about it because the dirty little secret is that is what funds our government. We have bad state laws in Prop 13. We require a 2/3 majority of our House to pass a budget, and yet we only require 50% plus 1 to take your rights away. So we have a lot wrong. There's a lot of people who are looking at state laws and saying we need a constitutional convention, we need to really change everything. I agree with that. Very hard to do. So we end up trying locally to resolve this issue. And, us in the public, when we all of a sudden say, there's gentrification happening. People are getting displaced. Small businesses are being pushed out for large businesses. And, there's this whole sort of socioeconomic response to bad planning. We don't build enough affordable housing. Very simple about what our housing crisis is. We build Rincon, which is 100% market rate, and then we don't follow up on the public benefit that we negotiated. So it disappears. So essentially we're building market rate housing that you or I, or the majority, 75% probably of San Francisco at this point rents. And we don't build that kind of housing. So it's not a surprise to me that we have more homeless, that we actually have more families now moving into residential hotels. We have not been creating the kind of housing to house the people who live here. So